Whew, there it is. Hey, what's going on? This is Marcos. Today we're going to be taking a look at this electric slider that's sitting right behind me. It's the Konova P1 with the S2 motor. And just a disclaimer, this product was sent to me for review. All right, so I thought we would just jump straight into it and take you into a real world scenario. I do a lot of corporate shoots and often I'm doing interviews with the subject like you see here. That's our subject. That's my daughter's doll. I had to borrow it. She doesn't like it. But anyways, that's all I had for today. So what I usually do is, let me show you. I have a camera down the middle, like right there, but I'm using it right now. And then I have a second static camera that would be this one right here, except that now we have a motorized slider, so we can get a nice parallax effect instead of having a second static camera. So it's really nice what you can do with it. So I'm gonna show you how I can set it up and quickly get the parallax effect going on. All right, so here's our slider. Our subject is right there. Already put a Manfrotto 501 plate to this ball head. Try to get something that's robust. If you get a really small tripod, the 24 inches of this is gonna be too much. It's great that it's 24 inches. You get all this traveling space, but for really small fluid ball heads, it might be too much, especially because you got the weight of this camera. This is perfect. What I did is I placed the slider, is it perpendicular to the tilt of the camera? So it would tilt up this way, right? So you want to have the slider go this way instead of traveling this way, because then you're fighting the slider. It might want to tilt on itself. So this will save you a lot of hassle. All right, so and then this fluid ball head is from Manfrotto. There's actually one I just tried out. I made a review, the Komodo K5 from iFootage. I think that's great. Probably prefer it better just because all my tripods have 501 these quick release instead of these. I think it's the RC2 323, something like that. So I prefer to have everything under that system, which is now my preferred one since that's what I have in everything. So check it out. There'll be a card right here somewhere. All right, so this is what I'm using, A7 III. And then, I mean, it's very easy to set up. You know, you pull it out of the box and you do need to screw some, the two connectors here on the side and then the motor. And this is the, actually I made this myself. This is the control, and then you do need a Sony MP battery. I have a bunch of these. They're very universal. It doesn't come included, but it's no big deal because I already have them. And that's it. Now I'm gonna have to hold this in my hand because I had strapped down to the handle here. So that's another tip for you, Konova. That would be good if you did like a 1/4 inch thread down here on your controller. That way I could connect this somehow to my tripod, and because there's no way to connect it right now. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on and I'm gonna try to get the parallax effect here in our subject. I'm gonna put this down here because I don't know where else to put it. There's no way to mount it. So what I'm gonna try to do right now is try to get the parallax effect without actually turning it on yet. I turned it off and I'm just gonna see what happens if I do this. So that's not gonna work too well. I need to turn these knobs. These knobs allow for the parallax effect. So it kind of shifts, the ball head shifts on itself. I actually have the ball head locked off right now, but if you move these right here, you can kind of make it move more. You see that? So all I'm doing right now is just shifting these rods. So when I parallax, the subject stays in the middle. I don't want them going off axis. So that looks pretty good. I'm gonna lock these off, turn on the motor here. It's a power button. And then I'm gonna set point A, which starts over here. And I click down, set point A, now set point B. I go to the other side. As you can see, that's pretty smooth right there. And that set point B. And I'm gonna call it, click on live motion. And then we could do manual mode if you wanted to do it manually, but I'm gonna do this auto so it runs, it just loops. And duration, we can double click once, click twice, and then for that distance, it only lets me do a minimum of 13 seconds. Okay, that's fine. Ramp, you can say yes or no. I like to ramp it. Loop, yes, we want to loop it. Click down. And then start point B, that's fine, it can start there. And then we just hit record on our camera. It's recording and I hit start. And then this thing, that's why it's nice if we could just have it somewhere like strapped down somewhere. We need like a stool or something. Let me put it down here. All right, this is me from the future. I was editing this and I noticed that at the very end, the camera vibrates a little bit. And to fix that, well, this is what I did. I'm gonna show you. So when the camera gets to the very end, the weight shifts and the slider moves to one side, so it kind of vibrates. So what I did is I grabbed the light stand and then I put there you see a sandbag, that way it doesn't move. And I only put it on one side because on the other side it was hard to thread in the light stand. I also only wanted to use one. So when the camera shifts to all the way to the left, the light stand won't get picked up because it has weight on it. So it's all supposed to stay relatively stable if you do this. All right, this is just a quick fix. It's what I had on hand. I know you can also buy arms that thread to each side and you grip it onto the tripod, but I didn't have that. So if you just have this laying around the house, you can put a backpack on the light stand or something that adds some weight, and that'll fix the issue of the shifting of the slider from one side to the other. You can also create motion time lapses with this slider. If you go into the menu system of the control, you can set it for time-lapse mode. There you set the interval, the shutter, and the amount of photos. You can also ask Konova when you buy it to send you the wire that goes from the camera to the remote control. That way you can control it that way. But if you don't, I mean, for Panasonic, you can set off the intervalometer internally. Also with my Sony a7 III, they didn't send me the wire for some reason, but it doesn't matter because I already have the intervalometer installed with the software update on the Sony a7 III. So it wasn't a big deal. I was able to pull off some really cool time lapses, which let's look at those right now. Overall, I would say the slider is great. I love the build quality. It can take up to 11 pounds. I think the slider motion is really smooth. The motor is super quiet. It's the quietest I've ever, I've tested different motorized sliders and this by far is the quietest one. If you do put on the ramp feature on, it does have a little bit of a noise when it gets to the very end. If you turn it off, there's none of that noise. But even then, if I stay quiet, can't really hear it, especially if you're using a boom mic. I'm using a lab. Labs usually pick up more of the ambient noise. So I wouldn't say the noise is an issue for me. The only thing I would change is I would put a 1/4-inch mount in the bottom of the controller. That way I can mount it to, let's say, my tripod. Otherwise, it's just, I had to place it on the floor, on a chair somewhere. It's just kind of cumbersome. So that's just a minor thing. For the price, it's an awesome thing. You can, what you can do with it. If you wanted an electric panhead, that is going to run you more money. So given the price, even though it's the manual, you have to set it manually, it takes a little bit of time and getting used to. Once you get used to it, it's great. You're not going to pay a lot of money for that. Yeah, so Konova is doing a great job with it. You know, it's affordable and it's great quality and super smooth. All right, so that's my take on it. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, please drop them down below. As always, I appreciate you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.